Did you know that the number one fear that human beings have is not death? It's actually public speaking. Can you believe that? People are more afraid of speaking in public than they are of death. Well, in today's episode, we have some brave individuals because I'm talking with some of the industry's top educators and artists who are performing at this year's Redken Symposium, one of the biggest hair shows that our industry has to offer. And they're sharing with us the nerves that they feel before going on stage for their big performances, their big presentations, how they deal with it, what goes on behind stage, right? Moments before those big presentations. We are getting the inside scoop for you in today's episode right now. Welcome to the Salon Scoop, the podcast that helps salon owners and salon professionals grow their business, boost their brand, and stay inspired. From salon marketing and social media to leadership and growth, we uncover the strategies and stories that move the industry forward. If you love learning, growing, and are serious about leveling up your salon business and brand, you've just found your new go-to podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Salon Scoop. Today, we are really getting a scoop, okay? We are talking with some of the industry's top educators and artists that are performing at this year's Redken Symposium, and I had the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with them and ask them if they still get nervous before going on stage for these big presentations, even if they've been doing it for years upon years upon years, and they have thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers, on social media. They've been doing education classes. You're going to hear most of them still deal with nerves every single time. But not only that, we're going to find out how they deal with it and some tips that you can learn from them as to how you can overcome some of your nerves for whatever the case may be. It's not just about public speaking. Sometimes we get nervous just before a big, event. If you have a client coming in and you have a big color transformation to do, we can get kind of nervous building up to that. So we're going to learn their insights and tips. We're also going to hear what goes on behind stage, the 5 minutes before they walk out there, and some of the last minute prep and how they deal with themselves to kind of prepare. Really, really insightful and interesting. I hope you enjoy this. Let's delve in artist by artist into what goes on backstage and how they deal with their nerves. Matt, do you still get nervous before big presentations like this?
Sure. If you didn't get nervous, then you don't care.
Yeah. So can you walk us through kind of what the 5 minutes before going on stage for a big presentation is like for you? What's the routine? How do you kind of deal with the nervousness to sort of center yourself, get yourself prepared? Take us backstage into your world 5 minutes before.
Yeah, it's a mantra. It's literally a 3-word mantra, and I just continually say it over and over again. And it's creativity, it is communication, and it is clarity. And so those are the 3 things that I continue to say over and over to myself to remind myself that is my goal. Be creative, communicate with your audience, and be clear on what you're saying.
All right. And that helps kind of just center.
Yeah, it gets me in the zone. I'm not like a hype man. I'm not jumping around. I'm not, my back is turned. My hands are folded. I'm quiet, and I'm just getting into my place.
I will tell you the preparation prior to getting backstage is many months and many weeks of practice and changing things and rehearsing. But in the moments, those 5 minutes or so backstage, when you hear the roar of the audience, you hear the presenter before you wrapping up, you have the AV team with you saying, okay, get ready. We've got, just a couple minutes. The reality is that I have a feeling that happens from about here to here where it is just butterflies, right? And I'm so, it's almost like in order to ground myself, what I need to do is just sort of remove myself from all of the things that are happening. So I generally like to close my eyes, I take a couple deep breaths, and I'll have a quick little mini conversation with myself. And this is something that the amazing Sambia taught me. And it's about thinking to yourself and talking to yourself about reminding yourself, who are you, like what's the intention? Why are you nervous? Are you nervous for the right reasons? And also just understanding, like, you have a message. You're going out there to share a message with people that are hairstylists just like you. So you're in familiar territory, you're with like-minded people. The scariest thing that could happen is actually not that scary.
Lisa, can you share with us what happens for you in let's say the 5 minutes before you go on stage for a big presentation like that? Like, what's happening kind of like backstage, whether it's in the prep room or just backstage? What do you do maybe to center yourself? What are the things that people don't realize that maybe are going wrong or chaotic in the background? Share some insights with us from a personal standpoint.
Everything at Rec and Symposium is extremely perfect backstage. Everything is on time, always. I have never done a show that is so well done and prepared. But in my end, I get really nervous because I care. I'm not going to say that I'm not nervous because you care. So when you care, you're going to feel something. And I literally do my breathing after I get the mic. Normally you get it like 30 minutes before your presentation. I do my breathing. I try to zone in to myself. And I find a wall. I do this all the time. And I get on the wall and I just do a squat. Like I squat and I get my legs tired. So because that ground me, that give me like some sort of like control. Like I say, I tend to be kind of fast talking and moving. I move my hands a lot. So that gives me a little exhausting feeling in my legs. It helps me a lot. So that's what I do. I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, but it helps me so much to control my nerves. I try to not drink water either because I don't want to go to the bathroom. Yeah, so like that hour before, I'm not even drinking water, nothing. So I'm just like focusing, like grounding myself.
I can tell you I'm more than nervous. Yeah, we have to understand this is the biggest audience in the world. Always, when I'm coming to a symposium and standing on stage there, this is the biggest audience. And it is not about that it's just the biggest audience. It is about my own thinking about quality. Because when I'm standing there on stage, it is important for me to deliver the best information and the best technique that they are successful in the salons.
What is it like for you? Like, what's your personal trick trying to deal with that nervousness in order to ensure that you have a smooth performance and you deliver the best performance for your audience?
The thing that I learned over the years is it is believing in that content that I prepared. The thing is, I think a lot of people knowing that you're preparing something for one event or whatever date or whatever you're doing, and then 1 minute before you're always thinking, is that right or wrong? Is that right or wrong? Yeah. The big point is starting to preparing content, working on that, and then when it's set, believe in that what you prepare, and then you're going on stage. That means my trick in that moment is I'm not rethinking, is this the right content that I want to prepare to present? It is more, okay, you're doing good. Motivate yourself, working on your breath. Yeah. Stay focused and thinking, okay, what are the elements that help them? Thinking about, okay, what is the purpose why I'm here? Yeah. And when I remembering these points, this helps me to going on with the right energy and bring the information to the point.
I think people would know you're nervous. I think that, that like you are nervous. I think honestly, what would they be surprised by? That's a good question. I guess how much everybody's there to help each other, maybe. Like everybody's there to help set you up. Like our production team, I don't know. Like this is I get to go on stage and do my thing because so many other people help me be there with the music, the lighting, my videos, my PowerPoint. And I think, we get to be on stage to present the message, which we get a lot of credit for. And it's like, oh my God, I am like a fraction of what goes into it for me to be able to stand on stage in front of 7,000 people to do it, because it's all the other people that are giving me this space and this opportunity. I get nervous before I do anything. And I don't think they'll ever go away. And I'll never forget Samvia saying, if that goes away, you really shouldn't be doing this anymore. Because nerves, it's not that I'm nervous that I'm not going to do a good job. I'm nervous because I care about what's going to happen. I care that these incredible entities that have invested their time and money to be there feel like they got value from it, that they walk away feeling like I will use this technique. I feel inspired. My life is better because I was there. So I get nervous if I go to an in-salon, making sure that everybody, understands the technique that we're doing a hands-on workshop. And I think that's part of just being a great, you're meant to do what you're doing. So definitely get nervous and don't be fooled, even though I seem in control. I'll never forget one symposium where I had one foil in and my stage partner returns to the stage and I was like, well, that was one foil. And there's that. So I hope we learned a lot from that. So time goes by really quick on stage, really quick.
What's something that people maybe would be surprised to know about what happens, moments before you go on stage, or either in the prep room or kind of like literally backstage? What are those moments like for the team that's presenting?
Yeah. So before you go on stage, everyone has their thing, right? So like some people need calm and quiet. Some people need like headphones on. Like I personally need to like walk a little bit. So I need to like walk back and forth. Like I would prefer no distractions of like anything. Then like seconds before I'm okay with like talking to somebody, because I'm honestly just trying to practice my speaking cadence because my normal cadence is fast. So trying to slow down a little bit, a deep breath, and then, you go up, and it has, but it's different for everybody. The things I don't want to have happen that happen frequently is, where is my foil comb? Oh my gosh, did we bring the color? Where did the model go? Cause all those things happen too. So like, I'll never forget one symposium. We were backstage and I wasn't on stage for this one. The model just disappeared, like literally like 20 minutes before we were supposed to go on, and she just went to the bathroom, but she didn't, like, our rule is like, tell the model room coordinator you're going to the bathroom. Anyways, she was like missing and it was hard to find her, and she left her cell phone on top of it, like in the where we were. And anyways, but we found her and it was fine. The audience didn't know, so it doesn't matter.
Do you personally get nervous before big presentations, on stage? And if so, what's your personal trick to deal with that?
Yeah, I definitely get nervous sometimes, but the thing I've learned is that being nervous and being excited are the same exact feeling. And to me, it's a mindset of nervous versus excited. Nervous people are not prepared. Like that's just it. It's simple as that. And also when you're nervous, you're focused on yourself. When you're excited, you're focused on the audience, and you're really you're stoked to be able to share the information that you have to share with them. If you're not grounded in your content or what your show flow is, you are going to be nervous. And then again, of course, you're focused on yourself. You're not focused on the people in front of you. And the one thing I've learned, particularly when you get on stage, is like your presence, like how present you are in front of these people, makes or breaks your performance, right? And because stage time is typically a very short amount of time, you have such little time to deliver the information. There's no room for me to be caught up in my head of being like, what if I forget to say this? It's like, no, you shouldn't have, you're here. Like you should have already known it. And so I've learned that as a person who works on the fly a lot, and I'm good with words and I'm good at being agile. I've learned anytime that I'm nervous, it just means I'm not prepared.
What goes on in those 5 minutes right before going on stage? What's the person, because everybody has their own way of dealing with it, of preparing for it. I'm curious to know what's going on with you backstage in those 5 minutes leading up to it, from the model prep room to actually like literally behind the stage. How are you focusing? How are you centering yourself? What goes on in those 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's funny because some people have to like go and like jump around and get their excitement up. I'm the type that I need to be in my head, quiet. I'm like going over my first few sentences. I don't know why, because I've rehearsed it a million times, but I'm just going over that. And then I also, in those 5 minutes, remind myself again why I'm here, which is for the audience. And I just think about like my people back home that I have supporting me. But in those moments, I'm like, okay, you're nervous, but why are you here? This isn't about you, it's about them. And then who do you have, not only the audience, but who do you have here? Who do you have at home that would be like so excited for you to enter this moment. And I think that's kind of what gets me, because once you're on the stage, nobody has any idea what you're about to say. But I think it's just those like little nerves right before stage, those moments of being in your head.
How do I center myself? So I make sure that the preparation for the classroom, there's been rehearsals. My support staff is completely set up with what all of the steps that need to happen. So I do have that 5 minutes where I can ground in and I take my deep breaths and I squeeze into my body and I remember my why. And my why is the audience. My why is the education. My why are those little tips and tricks that I'm going to give them in the short amount of time to make sure that they have what they need so that they feel like engaged and inspired and excited. So those are my whys. And then when I keep them in my body, when I keep them in my heart, and I really have to give myself time to like not think, get out of my thinking mind, get out of it. Don't think. That's my biggest trick on a daily, but definitely before going on stage, because yes, I get nervous. We all do. And it's not nervous because I am ill prepared. It's just care. It's care coming out in jitters.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What is a trick? You say don't think. A lot of people have a hard time getting out of their own head. What's maybe a tip that you have that allows you to not think and to clear your mind?
Well, it's a breathwork technique called like breathing in through your central channel, and it's literally squeezing different points within the body, at the base of your spine, in your lower abdomen, your upper abdomen, your chest, your heart, your throat, and the center of your brain, and then on the top of your head, where as I'm activating these different energy points within my body, I am embodying. So I'm giving my mind the thing I want it to think about versus I'm nervous. Look, I'm jittery. I'm shaking. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? All of the things that the thinking mind could process and create more anxiousness. The nerves will always be there, but you can minimize the anxiousness by actually squeezing into the physical form.
I think for me, the only thing that I would say would happen behind stage is that I get excited, and I've learned to take the excitement, the nervousness, and turn it into excitement. So that is kind of what I feel mostly might happen behind stage with the artists. It's just like we're so excited about getting there and doing it finally. You think about we've been working on this for like a year. So to get there in the space and you're walking on stage, I think it's more about excitement than anything. One of my mentors shared with me that if you don't get nervous about it, then, maybe you don't care as much as you used to, right? And so I think every artist that wants to do a really good job, I think there's some type of nervousness attached to it. Now, the levels obviously could be different, but for me, I am a meditation guy. So most times meditation centers me. So right before I go on stage, I'm doing my little 5-minute meditation. I have my earbud in. I go to a quiet space. And then the other thing is thinking about turning the nervousness into excitement. And this was something that one of the record artists, Natalie, shared with me, or shared with the team actually in January. And it just made it click. It was a great way to say it. I think when you think about being nervous, you think about yourself. But if you think about being excited, then you think about the attendees, right? So if you're excited that you just want to do the best job that you're going to do, you want to deliver the best, most dynamic, most impactful segment, then you turn that nervousness into excitement. And obviously, when you tell your brain or train your brain in certain ways, you keep saying the same thing. It's like it eventually turns into reality. So moments before hitting the stage, I am, I do want to make sure that I'm in my head going kind of over like, what the segment is about, obviously being grounded in the content. I think making sure that everything is done in terms of what do I need in my cart, what are all the tools that I need, like going through my presentation again to make sure that the videos or the step-by-steps or the visuals are in place. And then also just, I am a huge like Beyonce fan. So I like to listen to some Beyonce music, right before I go on. Last Symposium, I think it was the Cowboy Carter album. Symposium before that, no, 2 symposiums before that, I think it was Renaissance. So those are my albums. I like to listen to music. Music is therapeutic to me. And then I take a moment, I go find a place where I can just be by myself with my thoughts. I meditate just to ground me, to center me. And that's what's most helpful.
What incredible insights from each of these artists. I'm so glad that they opened up with us, that they were transparent, they were authentic to share what actually goes on in their heads, in their bodies, right? There's this nervous energy, and how do they transform that to allow themselves to deliver an amazing performance time after time. I think there's some great insights that all of us can learn for ourselves, even if we aren't going on the world's biggest stages. We all go onto a stage of some sort, whether that's just having a difficult conversation with somebody, whether that is dealing with a customer, but knowing that it's going to be maybe a challenging situation. Great insights here that I hope that you picked up on. Really encourage you to share this episode with someone else out there that you think could benefit, or just be super interested in hearing about all these top artists and how they deal with it, what's going on backstage. Big thank you to all of these artists for sharing their stories with us. You can follow along their journey as all of their Instagram handles are in the show notes here. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and remember, it's not so bad if you just push through your fears. On the other side is an incredible experience, incredible freedom and opportunity to really influence and impact so many people if we can just push back our inner fears. Thank you so much for listening to the Salon Scoop podcast. This show is produced by Salon S.O.S, a digital marketing agency by industry professionals for industry professionals. If you want simple and affordable solutions for any of your salon marketing needs, such as websites, client loyalty, Google search rankings, social media, or more, come visit us at salonsos.ca or on Instagram at salon.s.o.s. If you want to hear more episodes like this and help us continue to bring the industry great content, it would mean so much to us if you would support us in one of the following ways. Either share this episode with one other industry professional, and rate the show on Spotify, or write us a quick review on Apple Music. We want to hear your feedback. If you have follow-up questions or ideas for future episodes, please reach out. DM us on Instagram at salonus.s.o.s, or hit us up on our website again at salonsos.ca. Again, thanks so much for listening. Now go get your hustle on, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on our next episode.